All right, so I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this or not. I was on the fence about it, but it keeps popping up in my YouTube feed, and it's just something that it's pretty disturbing, and it shows the reality of the world that we live in. And I try to tell people that humans are pretty stupid, naive, dumb, gullible, whatever you want to call it, right? They don't have a brain a lot of times. It feels like their NPCs are bots, most of them. Even the ones that I think are smart end up being somewhat like an NPC, where they feel like I feel like they can only repeat something they heard, but they can't think for themselves. They can't analyze it. They just repeat, regurgitate shit they heard. And I'm like, are you gonna tell me something of your own? You're gonna be able to speak your mind, or are you just gonna repeat something like a robot or a recorder, right? But long story short, this is gonna. First of all, I'm gonna do a reaction to Tim Pool's video on this. It just came out today, a few hours ago, I think, and I saw it, and again, I wanted to talk about this when it happened, but then I was like, I don't know, because I had some other things going on, and I felt like the election was more important, and we were streaming, and all this other stuff, so I kind of just laid off of it a little bit. But I was pretty pissed off when I saw this, because this, to me, exemplifies and highlights the truth of humanity. How easy they can be controlled, how easy they can be manipulated, how easy they become robotic, and they just carry out orders or do things without thinking if it's the right thing to do, or this is the law, so let's follow the law. And who decreed the law in the first place? Who decided that this should be the law? Is this logical? Can we update the law? Can we make sense of it now? Oh no, we got to go through the whole voting process, which we don't really have a say in, right? But I'm going to compare Donald Trump's election to what happened with Peanut the Squirrel, because believe it or not, they're pretty similar in terms of the effect that is had. And this is why I don't trust anything. This is why I don't trust anyone. This is why I don't believe in any of this stuff. But before I explain all of that, if you like the videos, like, comment, subscribe, share where you can. Consider donating to my Patreon. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will make exclusive Patreon content coming up soon. I'm going to really pick up the pace. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, if you do support my Patreon, I'm going to make a separate video talking about this. But Patreon's going to be me unleashed. I thought about how I wanted to do Patreon. You're going to see the real me. The version of me that YouTube won't let you see. And it's not going to be for everybody. I'm just going to tell you guys right now. But you're going to get a little taste of that in this video. And I'm probably going to do a sample so you guys can get a feel for it on Patreon, like a free Patreon video or something. I'll think about what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm going to focus on this. And without further ado, I'm going to show Tim's video. I'm going to let him react. Or I'm going to react to his video. And then I'm going to comment on the things that he says. And I'm going to show you the difference between me and Tim Pool. And again, I'm going to connect what happened with Peanut to the election. And I'm going to show you guys how evil this world really is. And how evil humans can be when they're manipulated and controlled and gullible enough to believe they're doing the right thing when they're doing something evil and they don't even think about it. They just do it. Right? Alright, so let's get started.
I'm going to go ahead and say I told you so. I was completely correct. Peanut the squirrel was marked for death and decapitation from the start, as rabies tests reveal tragic twist. For those who don't know, Peanut the squirrel is a prominent internet personality and squirrel owned by a man who rescued the squirrel as a baby. It was an indoor squirrel. One day the government came and raided his home, took his squirrel and his raccoon, and executed them. Actually, it was an assassination. That's what I've long maintained. I'll tell you why. The initial story was that Peanut the squirrel was being checked upon because someone complained. The state came in, and when they went to see if these animals were here, whatever they were doing, a search warrant, the animal bit a man. Both the raccoon and squirrel allegedly bit somebody. Well, because of that, got to do a rabies test. So they killed the animals, performed the rabies test, and said, they ain't got rabies. Now, I said, no way. It was an assassination. And
so before I let him continue, I'm going to be doing more react videos to different content creators, because I feel like I want to show you guys, you know, the difference, why I am me and why they are them, and why nobody's like me. So he's talking about what happened with the squirrel and the raccoon, right? Apparently this guy was pretty famous on TikTok or something, whatever. I don't want to get too much into the details, but the main point of this video for me is that the New York State government, as evil and robotic as they are, sent law enforcement to this person's house. They confiscated the squirrel and the raccoon. They basically kidnapped them and murdered them. Now, for me, as soon as I heard about the story, I put the pieces together. And this is why I'm different than Tim. He's only going to tell you what he's reading from the news and his little 3D opinion, right? He's going to tell you the basic nitty-gritty human bullshit that everybody knows. He's not going to tell you anything special, right? But a lot of people love this guy. A lot of people watch this guy. A lot of people support him because he tries to do the right thing. I'm not going to say that he's a bad person per se, but he doesn't go far enough in my eyes, right? There's no me, right? There's nobody like me that's going to tell you the behind the scenes what's really happening. So for me, when I heard about this and I saw this, I was like, well, why would they do this to a fucking squirrel? First of all, squirrels are really cute animals, right? And raccoons too. They could be, right? They've been domesticated by this man. He's making money off of it. He's popular. But that's not the main thing. If you guys know about, cat videos, squirrel videos, all these videos that people like to watch, they watch them because they're cute, right? And people get a real kick and a real, warm feeling out of watching a person play with these cute animals. It's just something that people like to do. This is just something that humans like, right? The evil ones that control the world that I always talk about, the demons, the aliens, whatever you want to call them, they like to harvest negative energy that humans create when they're suffering or when they're sad and when they're depressed. So they try to create these scenarios in the world as much as they can through war, famine, discourse, religions, whatever they can to divide the population, make them fight against each other to create, the evil that they want to harvest. That's what they do. So with the squirrel, for me, what I see is a sacrifice. They're like, oh, a lot of people like this, right? Well, how can we harvest all this energy that is being created by the squirrel with all this attention that the squirrel is getting and turn it into something negative so that we can eat it? That's what these demons do. They eat negative energy. It's like a candy. It's like a drug. It's like a whatever you want to call it. It's a delicacy for them, right? So they figure out, they've created this entire world, this farce that you guys believe in, to be a cage of hell, of death, of destruction, of suffering, of pain. That's what this world is. Like, I had a friend tell me, he was like, I want you to think about something. Probably my best friend. He said this. He said, think about this. You're in a world where you can feel pain. What does that tell you about the world you're in? We shouldn't feel pain. We shouldn't die. We shouldn't go through all this shit. But the world has been constructed this way. Why? Who did this? Was it Source? Was it God? Who do you want to believe that put us in this hell so that we can suffer and get tortured? Who? Well, it doesn't matter who you want to believe did it. I'm telling you, there are demons, aliens, whatever you want to call it, that constructed this prison for us to suffer so that they can feed off of us. We're like cattle to them, okay? That's the goddamn truth, whether you want to believe it, accept it, or not, okay? So now they use this goddamn squirrel, poor innocent squirrel, who's just living, he got rescued by this person, this man, rescued the squirrel, decided to make cute little videos on TikTok, whatever, to entertain people. And also make a living off of it, whatever. He's enjoying his life, doing his thing. And then we had some random Democrat or some person that didn't like his videos. And they reported him because they're an evil person. And then the New York City is like, oh, we got our little MK Ultra evil puppet over here that's doing our dirty work for us. So we can blame them and say, oh, this person reported you guys. So now we can go in and kill your squirrel. And now we get to harvest this sacrifice and eat and feast on the tears and the suffering of this man, his woman, and whoever else followed these people. It's the same thing. Like, I'll give you another example. Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant died, right? That was another sacrifice. How much negative energy was released when Kobe Bryant died? Do you know the field day, the feast they had when Kobe Bryant died? It was a sacrifice. What happened to Kobe Bryant? And they fed off of that too. Same thing with 9/11. All these things that, like all these famous people that were good people, like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, all these people that people loved and revered, when they were murdered, John Lennon, guess what? These evil entities eat. They MK Ultra people, they send them in to do their work. And then when the person dies, a lot of people in the world release this negative energy that these demons eat. That's what's happening. That's the truth. That's the real truth. That's why this squirrel got murdered. Now I'm going to compare this to Trump before I let Tim finish. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more as well. Trump, he won, right? Congratulations, Trump. Now, Joe Biden said this, right? Joe Biden said this in his speech when he was accepting that Trump won or whatever. He was saying, oh, Trump won, blah, blah, blah. Well, Biden said this. Now, I hope you guys can believe that these elections are legitimate. And this proves that, no, it doesn't prove anything. It just proves that you can still put whoever you want there whenever you want. That's all it proves. And the people are dumb enough to fall for it. That's why I wanted Kamala Harris to win, because it would have been more clear to the people that they're just putting people there that they want. But instead they chose Trump. Okay, cool, whatever. It's still a fucking bullshit game. But Biden gave it away again when he said, oh, I hope you guys can believe this is legitimate. But anyways, enough about that. We'll talk about that another time. Regardless of who wins, Trump or Kamala, it doesn't matter who would have won. One side or the other was going to suffer. One side or the other was going to be sad or disappointed. Last time, they got a bunch of energy, negative energy that was created by the Trump supporters, right? With January 6th and all this other shit that happened, right? So they harvested that energy. So they're like, okay, we ate off of these people. Now let's get a fresh supply of energy from these other people over here that are on the left. And let's make them cry. Let's make them suffer. And if you see all the meltdowns and people going crazy over Trump winning, all these ridiculous idiots that really care about politics, because it's all a shit show. It's all fake, but they really believe in this shit. So they're like, oh my God, I can't believe Trump won. What am I going to do as a woman? I can't abort my babies. I can't do this and that. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up, bitch. What are you crying about? These fucking psychopaths. But that's the world we live in, okay? This is why I have little faith in humanity, because this is the world we live in. But anyways, so the comparison between Peanut and Squirrel is that they were both used, or Peanut the Squirrel and Trump, they were both used to harvest negative energy created by humans. That's it. That's how they're linked. They have the same purpose. And all these events that happen in the world, whether it's a war, whether it's Trump winning, whether it's a squirrel dying, whatever, all these major events that happen that affect a lot of people, that's when these demons feast. That's when they eat. Okay? That's all this shit is about. That's what this whole entire matrix, whatever you want to call it, this simulation, it's all about feeding these demons. Even me doing this video right now, I'm sure some of you are going to be upset and not like what I'm saying, or you might be upset by the squirrel, whatever. You're going to feed them too. Or I may be feeding them in a way, right? Because I'm saying all these things in a negative way. But unfortunately, I can't say this in a nice way, because there's no nice way to put this. There's no nice way to frame this shit. It's just a bunch of evil shit that's happening. And me being me, I'm just fed up with it. I'm fed up with seeing it. I'm fed up with talking about it. I'm fed up with nobody doing anything about it. I'm fed up when I talk to people, they can't handle my words. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that to me. I'm like, are you about the real truth or not? Because you're going to talk to me, right? I'm going to tell you the real truth. If you can't handle it, then don't watch me. I've said this before. I want people to watch me, but I can't be a fake person, because guess what? Everyone else is fake. So I can't be like you guys. I can't be like everyone else. I have to be me. And I appreciate the supporters and viewers and stuff like that. But I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to be an NPC. I'm not going to be a robot. I'm not going to be programmed by someone else and just repeat what someone else says because you guys think it's cute, because you guys like it. And that includes Kim Gogan. That includes anybody. I don't just follow what other people say. I am me. I'm going to say what the fuck I say. And that's why I'm showing you the difference between me and Tim Pool. Tim Pool is not going to say what the fuck I just said. You know what he's going to say? Oh, well, the New York Post and CNN and blah. He's just going to read you the fucking news. I could do that shit too. Is that what you guys want me to do? Just be like this motherfucker? Just be fake and just read the news? And not even have my own real opinion? Because all his opinions come from the fucking news. Because he can't go beyond the 3D. He's stuck on this shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. You're trying to do a good thing on the 3D realm, but you're still misleading people and not telling them what the real truth is because you don't want to go beyond the 3D. And the real shit is beyond the 3D. It's beyond the human plane. That's where the real shit is. That's where the real problems are. That's where the real enemy is. It's not in Washington. It's not who won the president, the Democrats. They're not the real enemy. It's not in Israel. It's not Hamas. Those are just fucking people. Those are just humans. They're not the real enemy. The real enemy is demonic. It's supernatural. And until we actually see that and realize what's happening, we're never going to get out of this nonsense where you have these psychopaths who go into a peaceful man's home playing with a squirrel and they go in there and kill the fucking squirrel. This shit's going to keep happening. This is the psychotic world we live in. Where they're chopping off little kids' dicks and saying, oh, this is the gender you wanted. Little kids don't fucking know anything about sex. Why the fuck are you telling them they gotta do this gender surgery when they're kids? What the fuck are you talking about? That's the world we live in, though. That's the real truth. But anyways, let me let this guy talk, okay? Because you guys want somebody to just feed you sweet nothing. So let Tim Pool talk to you, okay?
What is an assassination? So, you know, when you see it, typically assassination refers to a prominent individual who is killed for a political end. So it could be a powerful government official, it could be a celebrity, it could be a CEO. In this instance, Peanut the squirrel was a prominent internet personality. And the state decided they would end the life of this squirrel and a raccoon before even showing up at the house. I'll tell you why. This guy had 2 million followers on this account. The state did not want people to see a squirrel account and then go and try and take squirrels themselves to make social media videos that would get a lot of attention.
See, this is the shit I'm talking about. That's not why they did it, Tim. That's why you think they did it, and you don't know all the facts about how the world works. Or maybe you do, and you don't want to tell the people the truth. Which one is it? Either you're ignorant or you're a liar. You're either a fake motherfucker or you're a coward. Which one are you, Tim? You talked to Alex Jones. I'm sure Alex Jones has told you some things, right? But you can't tell people what the fuck is really happening because you don't want to believe it. Because you don't want to believe it, so that means it's not true. That's not how shit works. Just because you don't want to believe something doesn't make it untrue. So he doesn't want to address the elephant in the room. He wants to keep beating around the bush, talking about 3D book. Oh, the state, New York State decided to go do this because the humans control the world. No, they don't. Humans don't control a goddamn thing. If we did, shit wouldn't be like this. Because humans actually are pretty peaceful if left to their own devices. Humans are pretty docile, peaceful creatures when they're alone. The reason why humans are warmongers and crazy and psychotic and doing all this evil shit is because they're being made to do that by evil entities beyond the earth. But you don't want to talk about that because you're worried about how your fan base is going to look at you. Well, guess what? I don't give a fuck, and I'm going to talk about it. Until either YouTube or these other platforms take me down, I'm going to keep talking about the real goddamn truth. Because I'm the only one that's willing to fucking do it. No one else is willing to do what I'm doing. It is what it is. But let them keep talking. Let's hear this shit.
Said it's illegal to have these animals. And this is my speculation. If you take the man's squirrel, he will sue and get it back. You have to kill it. And they plan that in advance. That is to say,
think about the demonic shit you're saying right now. They planned in advance to kill a squirrel, and then they lied about it later and said it's because the squirrel bit one of the officers or whoever came to get the squirrel. So now we had to put it to death to see if it had rabies. So they already planned the death of the squirrel because they, as I said earlier, this was a sacrifice to hurt as many people as they could. And I'm sure there were a lot of good people watching this, man, because usually soft, innocent, good people are the ones that watch these goddamn animal videos. And they're the perfect prey for these demons to hurt and harvest their energy. That's why they do this shit. Because when you turn good energy into evil, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just the most amazing thing to these demons. I understand it because I've probably done it myself in the past in another life. I was probably one of these demons. I'm being honest. That's why I'm so the way I am, because I'm not a soft bitch. You're not going to hear me sit here, oh, just pray and namaste and meditate and it'll all work out. That's not the real goddamn truth. That's not how this world works. That's what they want you to think, so they can keep doing shit like this to you. They want you to be soft, so you won't fight back, so you won't do anything. Like I had this one dude tell me, "Oh, we got here because of murders and killing and no, we got here because people are weak, soft bitches. That's how we got to the point we are. People being pacifists and letting shit slide, being okay with this nonsense. That's why we're in the world we're in right now. But let them keep talking."
State planned the killing of a prominent internet personality with around 2 million followers in advance for a political reason. That's an assassination. The New York Post reports.
Shit.
Peter the Squirrel and Fred the Raccoon
this is the problem I have. He's trying to make this like some political cutesy footsie, oh, let's talk about the government and politics bullshit. That's not what this is, man. Even though that's what it appears to be to someone like Tim Pool, because he can't go beyond the 3D, so he wants to mold the world into his little view, his little limited fucking space of it has to fit what I think it is. That's not it. But okay, keep talking.
Bees. Officials announced. As it was revealed, the animals were marked for death and decapitation days before they were seized by the state.
Death and decapitation. Think about that shit.
Internet Peanut and his raccoon pal were taken from an upstate New York home by force in a raid by state agents on October 30th and sparked outrage and accusations of government
October
overreach.
30th. You know what October 30th is? It's the day before fucking Halloween. Do you know what they do on goddamn Halloween? Sacrifices. Do you understand? That's what these demons do. Halloween is their favorite time of the fucking year because that's when they do their most sacrifices. So they took this goddamn squirrel the day before Halloween, and probably, I'm not sure when they did it, but most likely the next day on Halloween they sacrificed the goddamn squirrel. Do you understand what's happening here?
The pets were euthanized to test for rabies. Results are negative. Chemin County Executive Christopher Moss told the Post Tuesday. A newly revealed timeline shows state officials advised the county to euthanize the pet a full 7 days before they were taken from their unofficial caretaker,
full 7 days.
Mark Longo, on October 30th. Even though the Department of Environmental Conservation later said the squirrel bit an agent during the raid, sparking the need for a test. Now, did the squirrel...
Well, no shit. Animals can sense danger. So when they sense a bunch of fucking people that they don't know coming to the house, strangers, with evil intent to coming to hurt the squirrel knows what's going to happen. Animals have this sixth sense. They sense danger coming. So the squirrel knows it's going to die. It knows it's in danger. So one of these fucking evil, demons, fucking agents of the devil comes and tries to kill the squirrel and grabs it. The squirrel bites that motherfucker trying to survive. Because that's all it can do. It's trying to live. It doesn't want to die. But these evil, robotic, mind-controlled, MK Ultra, no brain, no soul humans that work for the state of New York come over here and do this shit because it's the law. Because some fucking idiot a long time ago decided, well, these are not domesticated animals. You can't domesticate this. They're wild animals. They're wildlife. You can't bring them to your home and keep them as a pet. Some fucking retard a long time ago decided this shit, and we're still following this shit. They can't update the law. They can't use common sense. People can't think for themselves. They just got to follow what somebody else said. That's the world we live in.
Bite somebody? It's possible. You go into a person's house and try and capture an animal, it might bite you.
And I'm going to say this again, because I want people to understand my anger. I'm angry at the ignorance of humans. I'm not angry necessarily because the squirrel died. I mean, animals die. Whatever. It's sad. But that's not the main reason why I'm angry. I'm angry because how ignorant humans are to not just believe Tim Pool, but believe that this is how shit really is and believe that they should be doing these things. So whether it's the officers that did this shit that think it's right to do this, whether it's people that believe that this is actually what's happening, that it's as simple as some officers going over there and doing this shit, or whether you believe Tim Pool and the bullshit he's telling you, that's what angers me. That's why I get so furious, because I'm like, is this the world I'm in? People really think this shit is real like this? Like this is what people think? It boggles my fucking mind.
But look at this little doofy squirrel, huh? That squirrel didn't do nothing to nobody. So for what reason did they decide to raid a guy's animal sanctuary and take his animals? I'm sorry, dude. You chose to live in New York. I know. You didn't expect this to happen, but they straight up killed.
It doesn't matter where the motherfucker lives, Tim. It doesn't matter who lives in New York, Alaska, China, Hawaii. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Humans are retarded and ignorant no matter where the fuck you go on this planet. And they do stupid shit like this. Alright? Period. It doesn't matter what country, it doesn't matter what state, it doesn't matter what race. It's all the same. People are just retarded. And they're gonna do dumb shit. That's it. Stop trying to fucking make it sound like, oh, well, if you lived in somewhere else, you'd be fine. No. You're not fine no matter where you are in this world, because the whole world is made to be this way. You dumb fuck.
His 7-year-old squirrel, his pet, for no reason other than they don't want people to, well, they haven't given us a real reason, but I'm telling you, in my opinion, it's because they don't want people to take squirrels as pets. So they can't allow a radical like this.
This is what he's saying. This is the shit he wants you to believe. Well, they just don't want people to take the squirrel, keep it as a pet. Even though it doesn't say anything like that in anything he read, and even he's gonna admit, he's like, well, they didn't say this was the reason why. So he's making this up. And then he has, look how many views. Just came out an hour ago. Almost 34,000 views. He has so many subs. People actually believe this shit. Look, 5.1K dumb motherfuckers agree with this shit. This is the world we live in. People really believe in this nonsense.
To gain attention. Quote, wildlife cannot be confined like domestic animals. And if there was an exposure, the animals would need to be tested for rabies. The State Department of Health wrote...
Who decreed this? Who decided that wildlife cannot be confined like domestic animals? Who? And who decides what is wildlife and what isn't? You can domesticate any animal. You can domesticate literally any animal on this planet. What the fuck do you think zoos are? Zoos are literally a place where they keep wild animals domesticated. What are you talking about? Who made this fucking rule up? This is the dumb shit I'm talking about. Why? How can people believe in this nonsense?
Wrote the county on October 23rd. A message that all but sealed the animals' fates, as rabies tests required decapitation. So subjects' heads can be opened and their brains sampled. Days later...
Yeah, you know what it was sampled by? A goddamn demon eating the goddamn squirrel's brain. It was like a delicacy to him. It was like a snack. A really good snack, because the energy it got from that squirrel, that humans fed into that squirrel, all the humans that supported the squirrel fed that squirrel that energy, and then those demons ate it. That's what the sample was. It was like fucking Costco, motherfucker.
DEC had laid their plans to raid his home, but the DEC was also already coordinating the animals' euthanizations with Elmira Animal Control, the county's timeline shows, directly contradicting their previous explanation that Peanut had prompted his own euthanization. I'm in utter shock, Longo told the Post when shown the timeline. I'd like to give you a proper statement, but for now I'll just say wow. Shocked. Longo, who says he still hasn't received any word from officials about the animals, previously insisted the animals were rabies-free. The DEC set the operation in motion when it reached out to Chemung about 4 complaints that Longo is keeping the animals without a license in his home, according to the county. Quote, DEC is aware of an individual in the Chemung County who is known to illegally possess an adult gray squirrel and at least 4 young raccoons. They may also be in possession of other illegal wildlife species, the DEC said in a message to the county on October 22nd. We would like to know if the health department would recommend these animals be tested for rabies as a precaution for human safety.
And if I'm understanding correctly, it was just one of their neighbors that reported this shit. One person decided to call this in and report them because they saw it on the internet and they were jealous of this person. So they didn't like this guy. They didn't like their fame. They didn't like their popularity. So they said, I'm going to fucking destroy this person's life and kill that squirrel. That's what really happened. Go look it up. It doesn't show it up. It doesn't show up in this article, but you can go do the research and find it for yourself. So this evil Karen did this shit. And that's the vessel that these demons use. And then they sent the New York State agents or whatever to go take care of it. They had their little inn, right? The Karen was the inn. She was the puppet, the MK Ultra puppet that they used to fuck this person's life up. For no reason other than these demons wanted to eat. And they wanted to eat the squirrel. That's what it was. I'm telling you the goddamn truth.
That message prompted the county to reach out to the state health department, which then handed down the fatal rabies test recommendation. 8 days later, the DEC raided Longo's home, took the animals, and they were put down the same day. It was a lie. The state lied to everyone.
What a surprise,
Look at this.
Tim.
Animal decap request on 10/30/24 read, a rabies
Yeah,
report.
this is the same guy that's telling you to go vote and believe in government and believe in Trump, believe in this, believe in that, when our own government has lied to us many times. Whatever. I'm just...
For Peanut and Fred, also released by Chemin County. Before noon the next day, the animals' bodies were in a refrigerator at the rabies testing site. The fate of the bodies has not been revealed. Peanut's rabies report form did indicate he bit a wildlife operator on the thumb, but the timeline indicates the animals' deaths were planned before the bite. Before noon the next day, the animals' bodies were in a refrigerator. Peanut's rabies report... Oh, they're just doubling.
Let's just say this. If I knew someone was going to kill me, I'd bite the motherfucker too. I'd do whatever I could to kill the motherfucker if they're trying to kill me. So do I blame the squirrel for biting? Hell no. The squirrel did the goddamn right thing. If anything, the squirrel was working in perfect order with nature. It knew and sensed evil coming, it sensed danger, and it reacted accordingly. So the squirrel should be celebrated. It should be put up on a pedestal, not fucking euthanized. But, yeah.
Sometimes. Longo's Pine City home is a large rural property that operates as an animal rescue. Fred had recently been dropped on his doorstep in need of care, while Peanut had been living with Longo and his wife as a pet for at least 7 years. Peanut commanded a massive following on social media before his death. News of his fate outraged the public, with many decrying government overreach and overreaction. Quote, I would ask the public to allow the NYS Department of Environmental Conservation the amount of time necessary to complete their investigation so that many of the public's questions can be answered. Chemin County Executive Christopher Moss said in a statement.
What questions can you answer? You came in there and you killed the fucking squirrel for no goddamn reason because some Karen fucking complained about it. What can you possibly say that will redeem yourself? You can't say anything. You're evil. You did an evil thing. The people that did it, that were involved, the people that went to his house, the people that gave the order, the Karen, you should all burn in hell. That's it. There's no explanation for this. And nobody should ever listen to you or take you serious. The law is fucking fucked. It's flawed. That's why I don't believe in laws or the governments or people telling me what to do. That's why I don't fucking vote. Because I don't believe in none of this shit.
There should be a suit. This should not be tolerated. Let's take a look at some of the comments, though. Forward writes, well, I don't believe that keeping animals from the wild as pets is a great idea. These animals were not a threat to anyone.
And this is the dumb shit. These are the dumb replies. Well, I don't believe that keeping animals from wild. Who cares what you think? It's not your decision. It's not hurting you. It's not bothering you. Who the fuck are you? Who cares if this random man somewhere in another fucking part of the world that you're never gonna meet it has a squirrel in his house? Why does that bother you? Why does it matter? Why is it a great idea or isn't a great idea? It doesn't matter whether it's a great idea. And I'm not. This person is, okay, criticizing them, right? But this is the shit that I'm talking about. Why do you have to qualify your statement with this ignorance? Well, I don't believe it. Who the fuck are you trying to impress? Are you trying to impress the same fucking people that murdered the squirrel? Who are you talking to when you say, well, I don't believe? This is why I'm the real truth. If you make a mistake when you talk to me, I'm going to fucking expose your ass. I'm going to crush you. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out of my face, okay? Speak correct when you speak to me. I'm not one of these fucking people. You're not going to talk to me like you talk to everybody else. Okay? If you don't like that, then don't watch me. That's the way I feel about it.
The raid where the homeowners had to stand outside their own home was excessive. Amazingly, a dog from the White House bit several Secret Service agents, was not removed by the government, but transferred to other owners. People need to look at animals on a case-by-case basis.
What are you talking about?
Another example of overreach by the government that has exerted for decades. It was revealed fully during COVID. There you go. They want to control people. One person writes, in my state, animals...
That's what the point of government is. Tim, you retard. The point of government is to control people. That's the whole point of it. There is no other purpose for having a government. What do governments do? They create laws and they start wars. That's all they do. The laws are to control the people. So what the fuck do you think you're voting for? Whether you agree with it or not, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if who you want to win wins or you lose the election. It doesn't matter. It's the same outcome. Someone's going to get up there and tell your ass what to do, whether you like it or not. That's why I don't vote. I don't want anyone to tell me what to do. I want to do what the fuck I want to do. As long as I'm not hurting people, right? I think that's it. I should be able to do what I want as long as I don't hurt someone else. If I hurt someone else, then that's where I feel like I went too far, right? That's the only law that should exist. Don't hurt other people. That's it. That's the way I feel about it. You can agree with me or not. I don't give a fuck. I don't want people to tell me what to do, period. I don't need someone else to tell me what to do. All right? And if we live in a free country, the whole point, quote unquote, of a free country is to be able to do what you want. But we don't live in a free country. So I hate when people fucking say, oh, this is a free country. No, you can't. There is no free country. The whole point of a country is to have a government that tells the people what to do. So there's no such thing as a free country. It's impossible. It's an oxymoron.
In my state, an animal is confined for 10 days. If there's any question about whether it might have rabies, it was clear from the start that this was raw exercise of power.
No
They
shit.
did it because they could under cover of law.
No shit.
I'm going to tell you. This is a guy who's got millions of followers on an account. He's probably making a lot of money. It's going to breed copycats. The state says, we don't want it. This is the action they take. Now, some
That's not why they did it, Tim. You dumb fuck.
speculated that this helped mobilize voters for Donald Trump. I'm willing to bet it did. Some libertarians, maybe. I don't know that it moved the needle all that much. But this became a major talking point for people on the right just before the election. And you actually had liberals on social media. Now hold on. Some of these posts were fake. People were claiming that Jen Rubin of the Washington Post was like, the MAGA squirrel deserved to die. I'm going to say outright that post is probably fake. It was a joke. It's a funny joke, not real.
Yeah, real
But
funny.
I did see several myself as I
Real
began to
fucking
investigate.
hilarious.
Liberals weren't
Ha ha.
saying things like squirrels deserve to die. They were saying things like, why does anyone care about a squirrel? You shouldn't keep squirrels as pets. Sorry this happened, but this was your fault. They took the other side. Why?
Yeah. You know
Because they
why
have-
liberals did that? Because liberals are evil people. They don't really care. They don't have any morals. They don't care about what's right or wrong. All they care about is how can we hurt someone else and make ourselves feel good. That's what liberals are. That's what Democrats are, okay? Democrats. It's in the name. They don't care about anyone or anything other than themselves and what makes them feel good. And if they can hurt someone else and it makes them feel good, that's all they care about. They don't have morals. Why is this a shock to you? Why is this a surprise that they're taking the evil side? Are you really... They're grifters. They don't care. And I'm not saying that, I'm not going to play this two-way game, right? Where I have to justify one side and the other side, okay? I don't give a fuck. I'm not talking about Republicans right now. I'm not a Republican. I don't give a fuck about them. They don't even exist in what I'm saying right now. What I'm talking about is the Democrats, okay? The liberals. They are evil people, period. I don't see anything good about that side whatsoever. I can't point to one fucking redeeming quality that they have, or why anybody in their right mind would vote for that. But then again, the people that vote for Democrats are evil, psychotic people. That's why because you know how they say birds of a feather, right? Birds of a feather flock together. I can't even talk because I'm so pissed off. But anyways, that's what the Democrats do. They follow what makes them feel good and what hurts other people. That's all they care about. It is what it is.
Because that is the nature of the Democratic Party and liberal voters right now. Whatever it is the right does, it's wrong, no matter what.
No shit.
Dude had a squirrel. It's one guy with one squirrel. We don't really care all that much. Why spend all of this money? What do you think it costs? Tens of thousands of dollars to go to this guy's house to kill a squirrel? So liberals take to social media and somehow find themselves in support of the state, breaking into a guy's house and killing his animals because they hate Donald Trump that much and they want to make sure that everything the right does is wrong.
Look, they don't hate Donald Trump that much. They hate themselves that much. They hate the world that much. They hate everyone and everything that much that is not them. And if you don't align with their views and support their cause, they hate you, period. They don't care about other people at all. They have no soul. They have no heart. They're evil people, period. Okay? So why are you surprised by this? I don't understand. You've been doing politics for years, for 10, 15, 20 years, however long this guy's been doing it. And yet he's still surprised by this shit. Are you kidding me? You make way more videos than I do. You have way more followers, way more viewers, way more influence. You've talked to way more people. And you're still surprised by something that I've seen for the longest time? It's common sense to me. I've seen this shit since I was a kid. I don't need nobody to tell me this shit. But why are you acting like you're surprised about this? Oh, because you're trying to make money. You're not a real person. Got it.
This is the big problem right now with the right and the left, between the right and the left. The right's a big tent party. Conservatives will sit down with moderates and say, what up? It's not even an issue of whether or not you agree or disagree with liberals. It's an issue of whether you even agree with Republicans. So Nate Silver said, when he somewhat agrees with Republicans, Republicans are happy.
Trying to make this
if he
into a
doesn't
political
completely
thing.
agree with Democrats, they're angry.
It's not a
Let me add to
political
that,
thing.
Nate. If
It's
you
an evil
completely
thing.
agree with Democrats on everything, but then come out and say, oh, hey, there's a squirrel who died, that was bad. Now you're far right. So my point is, if the right wants anything, and you say that's not such a bad idea, you are instantly anti-Democrat. It's not just about not agreeing with Democrats. It's that a large portion of their policy positions are simply Republicans are wrong no matter what. So if Trump came out, this is the joke. The joke from the Babylon Bee several years ago was Trump comes out in support of impeachment, forcing Democrats to oppose, because that's what they do. And they killed an effing squirrel over it. I'll wrap it up there. We got more segments coming up for you, so stick around, smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know, and we'll see you all in the next segment.
And see, I'm going to say this. I'm going to end it with this. Because I don't think Tim is necessarily a bad person per se. What I think he's doing wrong, and this is what I talked about with the ignorance and naivety of humans being an evil thing, is that you're telling people something that's not true because you don't want to go far enough in your research, where he has way more fucking resources available to him than I would ever probably have. Yet I know way more truth than he does. How is that possible? How is that possible? He could easily know the things that I know if he did even the slightest bit of research that I've done. And everything I say is the truth. It doesn't matter whether you like it, whether you agree with it or not. If you know, you know. If you don't know, that doesn't mean that what I say is not true. That means that you're ignorant and you're stupid and you don't know something that I know. That's it. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It means you're wrong. It means you're stupid. That's how this shit works. That's why I'm the goddamn real truth. Because I'm going to tell you guys how it really is. So again, he's not necessarily a bad person, but the way that he presents his information is so that he can get the most people to agree and view his content. It's not about the truth. That's the issue with Tim. And that's the issue that I have anyways. But anyways, I think I said enough. I think you guys get the point. I'm going to have way more content coming up. I'm going to make way more videos. If you like, comment, subscribe, share where you can. Hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.